let's see if it starts up. This is SuchBullshit Podcast, episode 8. And, after the last couple ones, I'm gonna have to fix my thumbnails and a few other things. I've been wanting to do it, but I've been, lazily putting out this, this really crappy all-black one with the icon that I wanted to use. I'm gonna upgrade it a little bit, do some work to it. But, you know, I'm gonna withhold from that in the meantime. So, this podcast is about the lawsuits against Jace Hall, Twin Galaxies, and, 4 reasons why it's potentially fucked and why it's not gonna happen. So, in the description down below is 4 of the reasons in case you guys don't want to skim through the whole thing. This was gonna be an episode about something else. I'm not gonna go through it. I got lazy today. I just want to get to the point of this one because recently coming back to Twin Galaxies, I received a lot of fucking questions. Just answering a couple things. I got some people really anxious, wanting to hear my side of things. So, the first one for this, though, is the vexatious litigations leads to disbarment. So, what disbarment is and what the prior thing is, let me go over the prior. It's when you're basically annoying someone and throwing out a crap ton of bullshit lawsuits that no one's going to care for or small or looked at as petty by an attorney. And in most cases, emotionally driven ones are thrown out by attorneys. They don't take interest in it. Because at that point, they're going to be listening to your drama every other day for legal counsel of money. No one cares for that. When you give out too many as the filer, A, it makes you look like a dick. And B, you send out so many, your reputation, no law firm's going to want you. They're not going to want to take your cases. They'll see it as, potentially annoying. How's your word in court going to be any different? You know what I mean? So, in disbarment, the term for that, in case anyone doesn't know, means you lose your bar association license, meaning you can't be an attorney. You can't run a law firm. You can't run a law office. That number goes on every docket that you have a license for and is required. I'm not sure if you can continue providing legal service without it, but I'm pretty sure you can't. And it don't look good regardless, so. When you hand out so many lawsuits, it makes you look like the biggest dick on the planet. It really does. I mean, in public relations, and look at the press right now for Billy Mitchell, everything is just, being completely biased here. It looks fucked. You don't have any ground to get your notoriety or fame back. You went to Twitch and you did your 1 million point run and, so forth, but it doesn't justify the means of a meme transition and trying to silence, some YouTubers who are just referencing what's already on the internet, essentially. Be it private or not, these people have publicly come across this information through Google, Discord, or other means necessary. I mean, we came across it, it's sent to us, so all we're doing is repeating what we're said and told. The case of Twin Galaxies, I don't understand why Billy also decided to drop a few other personal lawsuits against Dwayne Richards and the whole DK forums, because questionably, the DK forums, you can't see the crap that they're saying or the emotes of Billy Mitchell without signing up to an irrelevant old board that is, I'm going to say at least 15, 20, I'm going to guess, okay, I don't know how old it is, but I'm going to guess, at least a decade old. Who the fuck is going to go looking at that and going to sign up to that to go see it? Who do you expect right now to go there? I signed up for it just to look at it, and then I signed out, I'm like, alright, that's it, because I don't really have interest in DK scores. Now, there's some people out there that are very much interested in DK scores. I, on the other hand, I'm not a fan of arcades or MAME, but I will be going to local arcades soon. There's one that opened up back in my town after 12 years of no arcade in my township. So I'm happy, because now we got our arcade back. But it's a different one altogether, and it's got some Smash tournaments that I'm going to be going to. But again, that has nothing to do with this. The case, the Twin Galaxies, is personally frivolous. This is true. This is emotionally driven. This is on the lines of, okay, this is Billy's entire, career. This is his thing. He, and this is what I found sketch. Big Bang 2010, he had a magazine printed 3 days before his announcement. It was already printed and done. That's way too soon. Even the publishers are like, dude, this is way too quick. It usually is 2 weeks. That sounds way too pre-planned. And it wasn't seen by anyone, him playing the game. He just showed up at Big Bang, put down a couple TVs, stood there with a bunch of tables. You had, Captain Awesome, Roy Schultz off to the left, asking questions like, when did you do this? Why didn't we get notified? Well, this has been a nice turn of events. Apollo basically got bought out by Billy and has removed all the videos, shitting on him despite him saying that he would stay with his word. I mean, that's what happens in a lawsuit, man. And you know what I think happened? This is what I think happened. So EasyScape has said on Twitter, sorry. He's like, oh, well, what happened to all the money that was donated to Apollo through GoFundMe? And no one has seen that money since. I've been thinking that because the fact that that money was obtained because of Billy Mitchell's word of mouth and the lawsuit and all the drama that came from that the attorneys probably took it all as payment. Because you're essentially using Billy Mitchell's name to get GoFundMe money to protect yourself. I mean, under some kind of agreement, I could see something like that happening. Very much so. Especially with the whole thing with, Guinness World Records popping up and saying, we're going to give Billy Mitchell his record back, but we're not going to show any record, any indication of our technicians, what is the proof to the public. We're just going to tell you it's back. Why are you wearing the Such Bullshit Glasses trademark right now? Well, this is the Such Bullshit Podcast, right? Are these really trademark? They're Where's Waldo. I shit you not. They're Where's Waldo glasses. Okay? They're legitimately copyrighted ones from 2009. So, and they're kind of loose. I should get my own witty glasses and get them trademarked. I really should. But for right now, I like the Waldo glasses. They make me look like an asshole. But let me get to the point here. To note that it's within Jace Hall's right as the current ownership of Twin Galaxies to actually, under EULA, which, as a gamer, you've probably seen it once or twice before. What a EULA is, it's an end user agreement license, or an end user license agreement. Sorry, I get both mixed the fuck up, but it doesn't really matter. What that essentially is that the people that run a game or a software or a service or a website have the right to terminate your account at any time, for any reason, or no reason at all. That's to protect their interest and monetary value. Fun fact. When I petitioned to bring back Where's Maris Waldo... God damn it. So, fun fact. I played Fly for Fun by Webzen. Well, it's being published by Webzen right now, but before that it was published by Gal Labs, and it was created by Aeonsoft. So I may have made, 15 trillion in-game currency that's worth, $5,000 US, and I tried to sell it all because I was quitting the game, because I got fed up for 15 years of the developers fucking off. Or no, it was 10 years, sorry. I got tired of them. They just didn't care for the player base. They didn't want to merge the servers. I was warned constantly, and I got tired of that community, and I left it. It's been 3 or 4 years since, and now they're writing, only now, recently, about some little minor weapon upgrade with the old Guardian weapons that would allow an exploit for you to essentially be a blade that's able to dual wield any weapon, because the old Guardian weapons didn't have restrictions for class. So I ran around as a blade knuckle and a blade caster, which was what I called myself, and I would ultimately be able to one-shot bosses because of an exploit involving how much magic damage you could cast, and it would go through enemy defense. It just negated defense, and it was a ranged attack that you could spam multiple projectiles for 100k damage. So essentially, 2 hits of that could insta-kill, a boss that would require a dozen people to kill. And I had knowledge of that, and I was using it for years prior, and they never bothered to fix it because they're idiots. That's how fucking lazy their dev team is, that they don't take reports on that seriously. But, I knew they had an end user agreement, and I took advantage of what I had in front of me. I took advantage of the time I spent on the game, and deduced that A, they're not going to ban me, or B, I want to do something, I want to help the game. I gave them two choices, and I chose the latter because they were being very dickish to the community, and I got tired of them. So they terminated all my accounts, but before that, because of the fact that I was smarter than them, prior to all that shit, I had IP addresses set up to all my accounts. And they used different proxies for each one, so I was able to trade gold to all of my main accounts, and then sell it all off. And I still got my money out of it, so I was at no risk. They were. And I essentially fucked their in-game market up. And it's been fucked for the last 3 years, and still fucked as it is. But they have the right to end my account because of an end-user license agreement. Now, much the same, it's like when I told Square Enix off, it's like, if you want your account banned, you have to tell them, hey, I want my account terminated. You need to terminate my account. If they refuse to do that, they're refusing their own ULA. Their EULA. So, when they do that, you could take them to court. If you really fucking want it, you could take them to court because they're holding your information hostage. And they're not removing it on your request. That's how that law works. It's kind of ridiculous that you could do that, but, I mean, really, who's going to go all the way to Square Enix, take them to court and say, hey, look, they didn't delete my data on request over the phone. They wouldn't do it. They refused. I mean, I know one woman who sued a Walmart because their bathroom was closed. I guess that's something, right? Maybe, I mean, something along them lines. It's somewhere, but, you know, it's been 2 years, more than that, you know, Twin Galaxies has the Donkey Kong dispute up. The dispute's closed, but there's a post-dispute that, you know, Billy Mitchell can post in, and he's posted nowhere. He's not bothered to defend himself privately on the server. You know, for that website, and Jace Hall's request and his policy says, you need to be the one to defend yourself with your own word. He needs to explain why MAME transitions were found in an arcade score on a scoreboard. He hasn't done that in over 2 years. He has gone ahead of himself and collected 36 or so more fucking signatures on legal documents. Some of these signatures are like sketch as shit. Like, I don't understand why, and it's further down here, my third reason. I'm going to specify this later about Richie Knuckles signing up on the docket just because Billy Mitchell and them were friends for the longest time. And a few other things, like the engineer, Apollo had specified prior, Billy's engineer had stated on stream, on camera, he sat down, he said, yeah, I don't think Billy Mitchell's records are legit. Turns around, and then on the docket says, I retract my statement on YouTube, you know, I think this record's legit. Well, what the fuck happened there? That's opinion. That seems like a bought out opinion to me. You sign up on that, okay, that seems like it's bought. That sounds like Billy Mitchell went to this engineer and said, here's $2,000 or such and such amount. I want you to go back, sign this document. Here, I need you to sign this right here in person. It seems like a bought out reason. But why are you, you know, why is he so attached to getting signatures from a bunch of other people? And the reason why is the court of public opinion, which is almost jack shit. That's kangaroo court. It's because he knows he has nothing. He has nothing to prove that MAME transition that Jeremy Young specified in the now closed dispute is legitimate. It cannot be reproduced. So unless he can find some method that reproduces that, not the whole claim that, oh, MAME didn't exist yet. I don't want to hear that shit. Okay? That doesn't explain how an arcade cabinet picked up a MAME transition. It doesn't. Whether it didn't exist yet or not. You had a girder finger, show up in that board. Show up in that tape that was sent to TG all them years ago. It was shown on Robert Merzek's fucking screen. On the screen where he points right here at the TV. Like I don't know what that photo is, but it shows it. It shows right there a girder finger. That little girder finger that hangs off at the end of the factory, in the one corner in the middle of the screen. That is... And a lot of people say, oh, girder finger MAME. I have knowledge of the PCB boards. You know, I know what they look like. I've been moderately to almost nothing interested, but like, you can't ignore the fact that physically shows up and it's listed in a database. And then you have on that same docket that Billy Mitchell has signed records that, oh, this was for movie's sake. Walter Day entered a fake score, and it was supposed to be this number and that number. Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. We don't care for that stuff. We get that it was for the sake of TV, and it was a fake score that was inputted, and this and that and everything. Who gives a shit? We knew it was for fucking TV's sake. You could have put that as a disclaimer at the end of the King of Kong movie, and we would have been like, alright. Or at the beginning, say, yeah, disclaimer, Walter Day puts a score in the Twin Galaxies database that is not actually factually correct and is made up for the intensive purposes of TV. And that would have been that. That wouldn't have to be brought up in this lawsuit at all. Or just specify just that. I mean, you go about it and say, this is this, this is this, this is this. Walter Day did this. I've seen his name all over that document, and it looks so sad. Like, this old guy, this old Walter Day dude, literally going to Guinness, his old former employer, and saying, hey, look, I want to pull some strings. And gets Craig Glenday, of all people, to sit there and say, it looked like he's held hostage. Oh, so we have to reinstate Billy Mitchell's scores because, you know, we screwed up and we looked to the original adjudicators, Twin Galaxies, for verification, which was Walter Day who verified the fucking thing. So you got the previous person who verified it to come to you, and that was your evidence. That was your evidence point. Clown. Fucking clown of a person right there. Okay? No description on that. If Craig had given us some kind of information to go on of how that transition happened and why the quote-unquote experts that debunked his gameplay as true, I'd love to fucking see it. To put that whole video on, you know, comments disabled ratings was pussy shit. I call that pussy shit. I don't care if that's offensive language or what. That's what it is to me. I look at that as pussy shit, manipulating information and lying, okay? You're withholding shit. Show it. Show these acclaimed experts, if there are any, which I highly doubt. I highly doubt any expert came to you and said, hey, look, this MAME transition on arcade's possible. And showed you something. Unless the slim shadow of a doubt in my mind, in my opinion, with a 0.000000000 repeating several hundred times over 1% chance that it is possible. And I fucking doubt it. I analyze games, I write ROM hacks, I write my own music. Hell, I play with fucking video game sound fonts. I text hack shit. I texture hack stuff. I have fun doing what I do. I know inside of games of just ridiculous amounts of shit. I've researched games for years. I'm still researching N64 games and their titles and Gradient Brazil that back in the day Nintendo... this fun fact too, and I probably said this in my last couple. Gradient was a Brazilian company, a toy company that produced N64 content, like the consoles and the games, and they didn't have model numbers. Not many people know that, but there's actually more versions of N64 games that exist that haven't been seen, that are only in Brazil, and the reason why Nintendo couldn't port games or import stuff to Brazil because it was more expensive. So they hired a company within Brazil to get around that. Because importing costed way too much. That's a fun fact. See, that shows you that I research shit on a day-to-day basis, and this is nothing different. This really is nothing different at all. Why hasn't he come forward with any kind of evidence? Why hasn't Guinness come forward with any evidence? Oh, that's right, because it's probably not fucking possible. It's taken you 2.5 years to make up a story. You know, let's be realistic here. Why has it been almost 2.5 years and now suddenly Nintendo's name gets thrown into the mix, right? Why is Nintendo now getting the short end of the stick here? I wouldn't be surprised right now if Nintendo's lawyers jump Billy Mitchell for putting their company on the docket. I really wouldn't fucking doubt it. I mean, hell, if I was Jace, I'd be like, hey, Nintendo, so we got this guy in this lawsuit saying that you faked a board. Can you show, or verified a board? Can you show a receipt of this transaction or exchange from all them years ago? Otherwise, you might want to take action in this lawsuit. You know, we have something going on here that could be potentially a lot of money for litigation and damages to your name brand being possibly a liar. That's money Nintendo can pursue, believe it or not. Classic clown. I mean, if he had said this back in SFG 2018 that Nintendo verified the board that did the score and all this stuff, and you know we're looking into it. You know, he pulled it all out in the fucking beginning. You know, be transparent like he claimed to be back then. We wouldn't be at this point. In fact, there wouldn't even be a post adjudication form on Twin Galaxies right now. With the 51, or I think it's at page 53 now. 53 pages of posts that wouldn't even exist right now if this guy had just come forward and on his own fucking score on the database. You want it back, all you have to do is go there. And so far, he's just pulling the court of public opinion along, which I'll get to that next part. So, as I said, the third reason, Billy Mitchell hasn't defended himself on Twin Galaxies while attempting to pull public opinion online, hence unethical use of the court of public opinion to try and persuade more people to sign the suit. So, more of his friends, so to speak. That's all that suit looks like, his friends and witnesses, and whoever, his engineer, his tech support, probably his aunt, uncle, father, mother, son, have probably all signed that suit. That's ridiculous. For a video game score on a scoreboard website that you could go to yourself. What like what the fuck is that? Realistically, what? I mean, I won't even have to second guess that Walter Day's signature is somewhere on there. I wouldn't have to look. I haven't looked at, you know, the details of every person's name on there, but I would have to second guess that Walter Day's signature is somewhere on there with an affidavit. At that point, that signature is almost near fucking irrelevant. That holds no information. Walter Day no longer owns the company, has nothing to do with any word of mouth. Walter Day actually adjudicated scores by using other people. So, fun fact, and this is a true statement. Frico can attest to the fact, a friend of mine, and also previously worked on the database of Twin Galaxies during Richie Knuckles' era. He can attest to the fact that he was there in person when Walter Day was trying to get another player of an arcade next to Isaiah Johnson to adjudicate the score for Isaiah playing, it was a Super Mario arcade board. I think it was the player choice one. He was trying to get him, this other random player next to Isaiah playing another game to adjudicate, and the guy said no. And then Walter tried to get Frico to do it, and he just said, fuck no. And at the time, Walter was not a referee, he was the owner. He could not adjudicate. He was not in the position to do so. At all. Regardless if he's the owner or not, that's having someone in your back pocket. And hearsay. And we all know that Walter is just, you know, just that. He's a fabricated story. He's an actor for everything. Like, the dude, I mean, what are you doing? You know, everyone invokes his name. Everyone that's a cheater, I've noticed, invokes his name almost immediately. Why? What grounds? What political belief do you have that this old guy that, you know, founded Twin Galaxies all those years ago and is using, you know, you guys as media to become celebrities and get your own trading cards, makes you this big thing? Under what term do you think that you're going to get away with cheating for all these years and being just celebrities on paper? At that point, you're As the World Turns. The drama soap opera. That's literally all this is. It's an As the World Turns, but it's, you know, it's ongoing since 1985, or what, I think it was 82, I think, was when Twin Galaxies was founded. I don't know the exact date on hand, but this is basically that whole TV show. Live, but it goes on for at least 40 to 50 years and it's still going. That's stupid. Just fucking come clean, okay? The record's fake. You had Todd Rogers. You tried to get his video pulled. And then you claimed online that you were never friends with Todd Rogers. You didn't know anything about him. So then why did Apollo's video on Todd Rogers get removed from his YouTube channel? Along with your own. Fucking liar. That's sketch. I mean, what reason do you have to pull that whole video? It had nothing to do with Billy. It had everything to do with only Todd. So, what the fuck? You know, that's questionable right there. A lot of people have been asking. Well, even Firebrand X had said, "Oh, so this has probably been pulled because Billy probably added it in to the whole legal court dispute, so he wanted to take it down." And Firebrand X probably nailed the fucking coffin on the head, so to speak. I mean, that's what happened. That's probably what fucking happened. They're probably buddies. I feel like anyone who's buddy with Walter gets the circle jerking in it all. They get the classic Reddit circle jerk, as I say. So let me go over the two pieces of the lawsuit that I find are complete bullshit. Just two specific pieces. I could pick out more. I could pick apart the entire document and laugh at it. But the two in particular that I want to go over. Richie Knuckles signed under oath that Dwayne Richards called Richie cell phone and stated that he wanted to fake a MAME score and put an egg on Twin Galaxies, and that Richie wanted nothing to do with this at all. This is signed hearsay, by the way. You know, this could easily be disproved with a phone record, but I don't see someone like Dwayne doing that or saying that either. You know what I mean? Like, what reason would he have? Like, what agenda, what emotional agenda would he have to do that against Billy? Because at first the claim that Billy had made, that it was originally not Dwayne Richards, but it was Robert Merzek fucking with him. And that he has the tape and it's the original and it's all his fault and yada yada, vice versa, so and so. It's insane. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, roughly, I tried to reach out to Robert Merzek. And I wanted to get an interview with him, but he got an interview with Ferretti, and that was more than content with me. I was trying to tell Ferretti, hey, can you get Robert Merzek to come contact me? And I don't know if he knows about me at all or has any idea that I'm the one that actually made Rudy's thumbnail and his the picture he uses in the website of his own, but I don't know. Well, let me get to the next part. The second one that I think is a lie. And, oh, by the way, I'm putting this on Twin Galaxies at the 27-minute mark. I just want to specify, if anyone could at this video to Robert Merzek and tell him to reach out to me in my email, I want to talk to him on live stream. I would love to talk to him on my bullshit podcast about Twin Galaxies. And I want to hear his view and take and see what he has to say. My dude, I've been to Ferretti's funeral. I know he's pals with you. I'd really love to hear from you, considering you at one point helped the original. So please do reach out to me. Now, to get to the second bullshit part of that lawsuit, Billy claims the tape of the original DK score is not his and that Nintendo verified the board. Where is such proof of this exchange? And why is it only now coming out 2.5 years later? You're suggesting Nintendo is responsible for your MAME tape on an arcade scoreboard. I couldn't make that the fuck up. That's a bold-faced lie if I've ever heard so myself. I mean, how could you involve Nintendo, of all fucking things, say that they verified the board? Where is this coming from? I mean, be realistic here. Why would you send the board to Nintendo as just a regular gamer to verify it? Why not have a Twin Galaxies representative on the spot or somebody at whatever arcade you were at the time, be it Fun Spot or whatever, and have the owner verify, hey, this board is legitimate, I'm going to look at it and say it's good. You send it off to Nintendo? That just doesn't add up to me. I really don't. And now that's coming out, it just sounds stupidly fucking ludicrous. That whole thing, that just, I don't know. I mean, anyone could read that dispute, the document in itself. I could pick it the hell apart for hours. I really could. Frico has read the whole thing. It's like 100 pages of bullshit. I could read the whole thing. I don't wanna. I read like a third of it and I'm like, yeah, this is too fucking stupid. But I can only debunk it with opinion, not fact. And I got pretty damn strong opinions that some people would agree with me. And most of the time when I speculate something and I open my mouth, it's usually true. I mean, then again, it's just opinion, but when it happens, it feels nice for me. Because then I could say, oh, I said that. Oh, I said that was going to happen. Oh, for a nice example, Skyrim 5, or Elder Scrolls 5. Oh, it's definitely going to be that game? It's going to be in that world? Okay. People hate me for it, and then they speculate that it's some other land, and then it turns out the land I specified, Redguard, is the one that they do. Oh, just a side thing. I mean, really. And the fourth one, which was the very recent one that happened, and this one was very hilarious. This goes back to, talking a little bit about Easyscape. I reached out to him privately on Twitter, and because he was looking for details about the money involving Apollo Legends in his GoFundMe, I in turn told him many things that he already knew from Apollo Legends Discord server and all that stuff, but because we were both staff on there, along with Warfare Ridge and a few others that I'm friends with. So what ended up happening there was he ended up telling me, oh, I've been watching this situation, basically. I'm like, really? Okay, so that's good. And then, not even a couple days later, I get, more information, and it's just this private talk that sounds so cringy that I've never seen anywhere. And then I hear from 4 or 5 other people that this individual is verified on Twin Galaxies and is shit-talking the company. And is talking openly about everything private in the lawsuit. And just dissing on everyone. I'm just sitting here, and I was sitting, at the same time, I was sitting here drinking this. And one of these, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, what a fucking idiot. Clown. That's all I said out loud. My ideals are very, very, very specific. And when I see someone being an idiot or bullshit, I'm just like, moron. See, in my life, the most dangerous people are people that are stupid and lazy. That combination is so dangerous online that they shouldn't even be online. You could be smart and lazy. That's fair. I do that a lot. I couldn't give a shit about a lot of things. I'm really lazy. Even when I do my thumbnails for these podcasts, I'm lazy. Self-admittedly, I'll say it. But when I'm smart enough to tell the difference on things and I say something, people fucking listen to me. People do listen to me. That's the good thing. That's the good thing about being lazy, is that you can speculate everything and make a good judge of things. But to talk about the leaking of these details, what this means is Billy Mitchell on docket has no signed person to give out some sort of press release, meaning with an attorney. Usually attorney or law firm will ask if you're a celebrity and which kind of person do you want to specify as the, quote, privileged, client privilege. The one person that can give out details of your case to the press while you're silent. So, I mean, in most cases, let's say for example, you're a celebrity like Justin Bieber and you get arrested for hit and run and you get put in jail. And I think at one point years ago, he was going to be extradited back to Canada. Let's talk about that. Okay, as an example. Just throwing that one out there. He's in jail, so he can't speak. So his music producer probably got on camera or gave a press release and said, yeah, he's in jail for this and that, and we're looking to try to squash this. That's what happens. You have either your producer or your contractor or your boss, defend you because you are the asset. Billy Mitchell is his own asset at this point. So why didn't he have this client privilege given out to this individual who said, make sure this doesn't go to Twin Galaxies, make sure this is not repeated anywhere on there, this can absolutely not be heard by anyone on Twin Galaxies. Yet you're signed up to Twin Galaxies and a verified member, and you're bashing people on the platform, off the site. Complete clown. And again, I'm not specifying their name. So I'm well within the protected range. They know who they are. They know that they've screwed up. And they're trying to get that same document, that same audio that was released that contains Billy Mitchell's, leaking of information She's trying to have that individual in question is trying to have that removed from YouTube and streamable. And it's hilarious. I find it hilarious. I mean, what do you have to hide? Why is Billy Mitchell privately going around to other individuals leaking information instead of transparent as he claimed to have wanted to be? What that suggests to me that Jace Hall's chances of winning have just increased tenfold. Right there. If you were trying to help Billy Mitchell in his case, congratulations. You have just actually screwed Billy Mitchell by giving out that information, regardless of what your opinion was. I mean, Echo Fox debacle or not, Echo Fox, I will financially say, upon research and asking many other people, was a financial failure. A financial failure. It may not have been the greatest, but it was kind of a financial fuck up. I will agree with a few people that have told me on that, and I've looked at some of the finances that they stated. But everyone has a financial failure in their life. Everyone does. You will invest in something and the stock will go down. It happens. Profit lost, profit obtained. You know? That's not to say that people that had airfare stock and stock in like U.S. world travel and shit like that, they have probably lost millions from COVID. Because look at the stock for air travel right now. And look how cheap it is to get an air ticket. This is probably the most keen time is in the middle of summer to now to actually buy airfare stock. Believe it or not. And that's actually some good profitable advice for anyone watching. Is to take your, if we get another stimulus check, is to actually drop it into air travel stocks. Believe it or not, it'll be good. Trust me. Not so much oil, but airfare. Trust me, it's a good idea to invest. But this is not my regular Such Bullshit podcast. This is somewhere near the border of drama, smacking on a lawsuit and just calling out people's bullshit. So that's why I was okay with this and defining it as a Such Bullshit podcast, because I'm just smacking people across the head, be like, yo, you are fucking up. Stop. You're just admit to the truth. Stop wasting my time and other people's time. Because that's what it was. It's people wasting other people's time. Just stop being frivolous about shit. Like, you want to sit here and specify this. And make no mistake, I'm in support of both Jace and Billy. I hope, something good happens of all this, but Billy hasn't shown shit. The only thing Billy Mitchell has shown is that he's able to do it on Twitch. Big fucking whoop that you could do it on Twitch. How about the record that you put on Twin Galaxies showing the MAME transition? How about you just show how that recording came to be? Remember what converter you used. If you have $1 million you claim that your net image is worth, okay? Let's be realistic. If you have that much of a net value and have that much money and you can own all this property and give out all these lawsuits like candy, like you claim, why not just remember the converter that you used to get the arcade cabinet for DK and buy it like Jace Hall tried to buy several different converters, and then show that the tape is in fact legitimate and show that that girder finger shows up in an arcade cabinet? You want to know why? Because you can't prove it. You fucked up. It's MAME. It's MAME. It's not the first MAME tape. It's not the first arcade tape. It's the first MAME tape shown on an arcade scoreboard. If you want a world record for that, congratulations. You are the first to successfully put up a MAME tape on an arcade scoreboard. So congrats. But I think the more better solution is to just move that tape to MAME on Twin Galaxies. But then again, it's entirely Jace's decision to remove all the scores just as much. When you cheat on Twin Galaxies, you get removed from the system. That's how it works there. And that's more than fair, I would say. So, it is the 40-minute mark. And normally this is where I would go over more than one other thing. When it comes to my bullshit podcasts, I usually go over two things, not one. This is kind of a first for me. So So what do I want to talk about? I guess I'll talk more about Twin Galaxies, right? I think what I want to talk about is all the generalized hate and false sensitivity, and this idea that Twin Galaxies is a men-only zone. It's very fucked up and sexist that people would say that, and it's usually women, snowflake women, that are saying that. Twin Galaxies, let's be self-admitted here. The majority of, in terms of gender, that play video games is male. It always has been male for years. I'm not going to sit here and, smack at the fence and say that women gamers are equal and all this shit. I know they're fucking equal. I don't need the No Princess in the Castle movie to tell me that. I look at everyone's gameplay and everyone's scores on a world record database is equal. Believe it or not, Empire Arcadia has a female division that is called, what the fuck is it? The Valkyries. And it's a bunch of females that play video games too, in addition, and they're all somewhat well known. So, what's the big deal? Can they not go on there? Are they just not welcome, or what's the deal? Other people have, especially women on Twitter, have, with nothing better to do in their time, have been trying to go to news outlets and media and try to sit there and say that Twin Galaxies is for men only, don't go there, they'll bash you, they're rude, they're awful. Fuck off with you. Go cry up someone else's ass, or CNN. I mean, really. Like, what the fuck? You want to be helpful to that community? Stop being detrimental. You're filled with so much self-hate that you can't see past yourself, and you know what happens at the end of that? No one relies on you being a trustworthy source, or would decide to even go to you with anything. That's what happens to people like that, man. When they become so filled with hate and the false sense of what someone is like, that they'll paint you a picture of what you are, and then they'll walk the fuck off. I had someone like that when I went to go post on the Twin Galaxies wall, that I had to go to Jace Hall, as well as the TG administration that originally was watching what I was saying, and I approached them, and I said, yeah, we have been moderating it, and it's not right. So they already knew the situation that was going on. With that, and that was in regards to back then. I had I was giving out invites to this Discord server called the ACTG. It was anti-cheating Twin Galaxies. I didn't have power in the server. The only power I had was to kick people. I didn't have power to ban or whatever, and I openly invited people from Twin Galaxies into the server to talk to them, unbiased, as someone who is kind of like a newscaster, an investigator, or whatever, and as a game analyst. And I wanted to hear the opinions of everyone, regardless if they were fucked up, racist, or murder, or whatever. I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't have given a shit if they were secretly drug addicts or sex addicts deep down. I just wanted to know what people knew. Because you don't know what strangers are like online. I'm reaching out and broadcasting to people that I have no idea what they're like. For all I know, Jace himself could be doing hardcore drugs on a stripper right now. I don't know that. I'm not claiming to. But he could be doing that private. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that, he's done awful things and he's this bad guy. I think he's cool. I mean, the only thing I don't like about Jace Hall is the fact that he treats every fucking thing like it's a murder case and it needs to be 100% debunked. And that goes back to Isaiah's excessive leeching. I say cheating, I don't know why, but it was excessive leeching on Contra 3. And his idea and view was, what defines excessive leeching? Well, there's no defining on the rule set. There's no definition. But when I say, okay, 20 minutes on the final boss, farming fucking points, bare minimum to get max score, that's not enough? Like, that's what I thought was sketch with that. And even Apollo Legend has specified in private that, it's fucking ridiculous. Now that Apollo's gone, you're just gonna tell the truth. Like, why else was he not liking Jace Hall? For that very reason. That right there. Apollo has said that he is, in fact, just all Hollywood TV, and he uses the drama and the publicity in order to get a following and attention to the website, and it pisses him off. I partially agree with Apollo on that. I thought it was complete bullshit that Jace uses his whole thing. That's why there is a post-dispute on DK. But it's hard to ignore shit that's coming in over 2 years and the fact that the dispute is now closed. that dispute is actually very large, so I can understand closing it up and giving it a break and opening up a post dispute. However, where's Billy Mitchell posting? I feel like I feel like the best legal advice that Jace Hall should have in this event, concerning the fact that he used to be a legal advisor, what I would suggest, I don't know if he's already done this, is to state to Billy Mitchell directly, hey, you need to come to the post dispute and factually show only your game record. We don't want talks of other people. We want something from you that specifies that this score is impossible. If you cannot provide that, I will use that as the same thing as almost like a refusal at that point. And if he could put it in the form of some kind of, I don't want to say cease and desist, but, he could essentially do that. Put it in as a cease and desist right afterward. Be like, if you cannot do this, I'm going to issue a cease and desist to stop with all these frivolous lawsuits. I mean, at this point, he's already proceeded too far with this potential slap. I don't know what the proceeding is, so it's not my place to say. But as many others have said, as David Race has said in the post dispute that I read that post that I quoted recently on Twin Galaxies for the post dispute, and it was written by David Race, and it specifies, it is up for Billy Mitchell to post the word of truth from his own side. He has to be the one to display it, not other people, not word of mouth, not witnesses, not big time fucking companies, not Atari, not Nintendo, not whatever. It is entirely up to Billy Mitchell to show that proof, to show that evidence. And he hasn't done so. That's the same as denying. And no court of public opinion is going to look at this and say, okay, where's your facts for the game? And then he's going to pull out this 100-page booklet that's like this fucking thick in paper with a bunch of signatures, stories, and shit that is relevant to that 1-point score of proving that. A judge is going to look at that, he's going to go like this, like a flip book. What the fuck? No one's that's why this case has been so delayed all the way to October. No one wants to sit down and read 100 pages of bullshit and, sign-offs from accusations of friends. That's opinion. And if it gets to the court of fucking public opinion, at that point, it's kangaroo court. Like, just come the fuck forward and admit it and get it the fuck over with. Like, really, you have an entire community looking at you like a clown right now, Billy. We don't want to look at you like a clown. We want to look at you like a legend. Like any other fucking gamer. But instead, you're being an asshole to, people on YouTube. You're being an asshole by calling, everyone on YouTube a bunch of losers. People in the dispute thread a bunch of losers and all this shit. And then you're going to Twitter and saying, haha, this, that. And then you're fucking, pissing off Carl Jobst and a bunch of other YouTubers that, you're blocking, but then shitting on. You're no different. You're really no fucking different. Like, at that point, that's gross. You haven't blocked me yet. I haven't even commented or messaged you at all. So, please, if I put this on my my Twitter and I at you, I expect some kind of a rational idea as to why the individual in question leaked that information about your lawsuit, because that potentially fucks you over. I mean, it really does. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out, hey, this is fucked up, and this person wasn't supposed to talk. Why did they talk? It got out of your circle. You're responsible for it, not me. Anything gets put on the internet stays on the internet. That's how it works. I mean, much the same when you buy online property and intellectual property. It stays on the internet forever. So my ownership of Meme Troll and the trademark and the displayed icon in the bottom right corner, the watermark that's at the end of this video that you'll probably see pop up, all that's owned by me under trademark. and it has my real information on it. Anyone can look it up. My information is public domain, and I submit it to that. So, I mean, what do you have to really say on things that have been made public, and the entire thing with Guinness not giving out information related to your scores? You know, like, what grounds do you have to send the lawsuit to me or Carl Jobs or anything like that? At this point, I don't fear a lawsuit. I'm just gonna say, look, you're a clown. This is clownery right here. You know, you have all this of potential lies and bullshit, and you've taken 2.5 years to handle it, to get it to court, to get it to a law firm. How did it take 2.5 years? You know? I'm not trying to fucking harass or even receive a lawsuit, but I'm just saying, like, what are you doing? You're hurting your own image. You're making your own net value actually decrease by doing all this shit. Because you take this shit to court. It's like with the case when you took Cartoon Network to court for a parody of your image. It's a parody. It's just that. It was protected under fair use. Well, somewhat, considering they made it to TV and they were profiting off of their own thing, but it was a parody. Much the same as how South Park gets away with a lot of shit. It's because it's a parody and a cartoon. It's not actually your image. It's not your face. If my face, my physical face right here, this whole thing, was put up on South Park, not an edit or anything, this actual face, I could sue. If my network icon, or trademark, or my brand name was put up on the internet, or on a Cartoon Network episode, I could sue. Potentially. It depends on how it's referenced, or if it's defamed or damaged in any way. But other than that, you're hurting your own image by asserting yourself as a victim of circumstance, whereas you're not really a victim of circumstance, you're more of a victim of truth. Whereas we're requesting repeatedly over and over and over and over and over for 2.5 straight years, where is your physical document of proof? The only score that Billy Mitchell had deserved back was his Pac-Man score. Because as far as we know, and as far as been specified, that score is legit. Where is the rest of your tapes and scores? And are they legit? And stop fucking around, please. We don't want to waste time on you. I don't want to sit here on podcasts and waste time on you. I don't even want to research your records, but I'm still going to do it for a now dead friend on his deathbed. And that deathbed, that person, that individual is Rudy Ferretti. That's the only reason I'm going to bother my time. So please, specify. Tell me. And a lot of people in that ACTG server, I'm just going to specify this now at the last 8-minute mark. Some of them did not like me for the fact that I let Rudy Ferretti run his mouth like a crazy person. But in death, surprisingly, even before that, he had more information to say than the majority of the people that were in that server. Most of the shit that was said by disgruntled individuals that think that I'm a racist and shit for allowing him to do that, even though I had no power to fucking do so, would decide that, hey, they're useful and their information is valid and helpful. Well, the information provided by one or two individuals I deemed completely unnecessary and already resaid. So I chucked what they said into a recycling bin, because at that point, they're repeating what's said in the fucking dispute. What new shit that they have to provide to me. Whereas hasn't been provided by like several other people. I wade through bullshit. That's what that is. If you're going to send bullshit and repeats, just get that out of here. I look for new shit every day. So when I post something new, it's relevant. That's why what I posted recently is now being referenced over and over and over. It's called information choosel. And that's what I did. But unfortunately for me, Jace Hall has seen what this individual's been doing and saying in the background because I sent it to him. And sounds like a crazy person. I would play the audio of this individual going off, but it's not my place to say or show. I'm not the kind of person who goes after, targets people, harasses people on the fucking internet. But like, when you have this open platform that does not tolerate harassment policies or anything, and they see their own rules, they don't want to bother with such activity. They don't even want to ban you. They just want you to stop. And I can respect Franny and Jace Hall, which Franny is the administrator. So shout outs to them for taking advantage of the, well, not advantage, but taking care of the situation. Sorry. There's no advantage. But again, I'm going to take this time now to start investigating Billy Mitchell's tapes. So, can you email them to me? Anything. Email me shit. Just anything. Any new information that is not already in the dispute, or anything that you think I would not be well aware of. If it's something like along the lines of something involving just recently discovered or in the dispute, please send it to me even then. Because I'm not going to always be reading the dispute, the new one. The post-dispute. I haven't really read the full current thing right now. So there's going to be more comments coming in about that dispute, more posts. I want people to send me that stuff. So please, if you say anything in there, or if it's something you think I wouldn't have read at that point, or if it's new, please send it my way. I want to read it. I want to read it. If it's relevant to the case, or relevant to his scores, or possibly cheated things, or if it's something about a certain game, send it to me so I can look at that game, and then I can find if something's wrong with it. And if I find something wrong with it, congratulations, you assisted in fucking finding a cheated record and a cheated feat. Okay? So this is Maris Memes, and this has been Such Bullshit Podcast episode 8. Do reassure that my thumbnail, the thumbnail that I'm using for the Such Bullshit Podcast, is going to change. As I said before, I've been lazily doing these thumbnails, and I've been doing them in Sony Vegas, actually. I haven't been doing them in Photoshop or anything. This one was done in PaintNet, because I'm trying to redo the logo and design to be more or less friendly with certain ideas and views of me doing certain things. So hopefully it gets to the point where I can use everything. You know what I mean? I want people to be able to be happy with what I create and put out. So this has been Maris. This is the end of my podcast, and I'll be putting this up on Twin Galaxies wall. And this one will not be muted, and it won't be it won't be slightly censored like my last one, where I accidentally stayed in the public Mario Party NetPlay server with my pals, who were starting to troll me at the half-hour point when I didn't know that I was still in the server, and they were playing their soundboard, and they were timing what I said with their soundboard, and it was absolutely hilarious. But I also do want to give an apology for that, because that was not intended, but it was still funny. To me, it was still funny. Because I didn't know. You need to think about that. I'm sitting there and my headphones are down. I'm like, oh, yeah, this, that, and everything. And then for 13 minutes straight, that was going on and my headphones were muted. But again, things happen. Things that you don't foresee happen. And I'm more or less interested in hearing what other people have